Hi everyone, and thank you for purchasing the Parallax Banner Shopify section by qwiqode. In this video, I'll be showing you how to actually use it. So if you haven't installed it yet, please refer to the separate video included in the package, and you also have access to a PDF with instructions. So to get started, go to your theme editor, navigate to the page you want to add this section to. Over on the left, click Add Section, and you can search for the section, select it. So here we get a little sample default that comes in. Has no images or videos as of yet. We don't have any blocks or anything. It's just this single section. So clicking on that, over on the right side, you have an area where you can set the banner image or a video. You can put either YouTube, Vimeo, or a local MP3 video, MP4 video. I'll show you in just one moment. First, we'll start with an image. So we go in, let's select an image. Well, let's select this one here. And immediately you already get a form of parallax. Scrolling down, we have various settings. For the first one, it's the type of parallax. So we have a fixed position. As you can see, the image isn't moving, just the page itself when you're scrolling. You can select true parallax, and this actually gives a movement to the image itself. So you can see that it moves at a certain pace relative to the scrolling. And this pace you can control with the speed itself. So right now it's at 0.5. You can move it all the way up to 2. And you notice the image also enlarges when you change the speed or the pace. And this happens because we don't want the image, if it gets to the edge when you're scrolling, to see the edge of the image. We always want it to lock at the very bottom. So our code basically makes that adjustment so it always will be at the, it won't pass the very bottom of the frame. And we can, and this could be adjusted as well. As we move down, we can play with the height of the banner, of the visible area, and this will also adjust the size. But as you can see, when we put in 2 and we scroll it, then the speed of the image moves faster. And we can also set the direction. So we can choose reverse, and then it moves in the opposite direction of the scrolling itself, giving a different effect. Then moving down, we can set the section height. So the section height is basically this area here. So we can make that a percentage of the height of the screen. So we can do 70%, you see, and it's much bigger. So now we have more of a visible area that we can see the image. Content max width I'll get to in a minute. I skipped over this area of the content, but this is quite self-explanatory. You can change the title, which is this. You could change the subtitle below. You can set HTML element to for each one of these. This is from H1 to H6, so it's basically a header. And this is good for 2 reasons. One, for SEO, as search engines recognize texts that are labeled as headings and give priority to the importance of it. So usually a page, like a page title, would be in H1, and then section titles could be H2s and so forth. It depends on where you want to use this. If you're using it as a hero image, I would recommend using it as H1, and that way that's the title of the page. Otherwise, H2 or so on. And the second reason is for actually the theme to, like, if you your Shopify theme usually has preset styling for these headings. And if you want to inherit them and use the same styling without going in below and changing those things, then this helps also get the right colors and sizes and everything, so everything looks consistent on your site. Moving on down, you can also add a button. So button, once you have a label and you have a link, so if, let's say we just want to link to a certain product, a comparison table, then a button appears right there below. Next, we have here section top bottom margins and padding. Margins are is the area above and below the section itself. So if you have sections or something else above and you want more spacing, you can scroll that up and move it more, and same thing for space below. Padding is the space within the section. You have horizontal padding, which you won't really see a difference unless you have a color on the background. In a moment, we'll get to that. But you can also set up the padding of the top and the bottom areas. You have those same settings for mobile. So if you want it to be smaller on mobile, the overall height, you can adjust that just for the mobile, and as well as the margins and padding. Moving on down, content styling. So we can apply an overlay color to the image itself. Sometimes if it's really a bright image like this and you want white text, you can always go in and you can add, let's say, a black like that, and then give it some opacity, and then it makes it darker. But of course, you can put in any color you'd like to kind of mute the image a little bit and make the text stand out more. Another option would be to add a background color to the content block. So you could select that and let's make it white. You can add that there too, and you can also adjust the opacity of that block. Next, you have text content max width. So as you can see, the max width right now is going all the way. You can make it much smaller if you want, just like that, to let's say 500 pixels, depending on how much text you have and what you'd like to show. And then you can move this box around and the text alignment inside. So you can make it left aligned, and then you can put this to the left, move it to the left, and then also vertical align. So you could have this image here, and then while it's moving, it's always stuck at the top right or the bottom left, or whatever you choose to do. You can also add border radius to the box, depending on the style of your website. Add padding to the top bottom of the block itself, like that. And also horizontal padding to give some more space. And then we have the same settings, well, similar settings, not as many, for the padding on mobile, and then text alignment. Since on mobile, we don't have too much room here, so it's always going to be centered, the text block itself, but you can align the text however you'd like. Next, we have styling. Like I mentioned before, if you want to have the inherent if you're happy with the inherent styles of your headings, then you can leave this untouched. But if you want it to be something different, then we can always go in here, set the title color. You can use a custom font. So you check this box, and then you can select one of the fonts that Shopify offers, or you can paste in here the CSS font name of a custom font that's not included here. You can find that through your CSS files. But if you don't use a custom font, it will inherit, of course, the font of the site itself. So you wouldn't have to worry about that. You can set the font weight to your liking. And then you have title margins. If you want more space, for instance, between the subtitle and the title, you want to change the font size of the title, line height and letter spacing. Same goes for mobile, right over there. Same settings exactly for the subtitle. So if we want more space between the subtitle and the button, for instance, you can go in here and add more margins there, like so, and change the font size, etc. And then we have button styling. Button styling we could set the fonts as well, and we can set font weight. So if we'd like to have a bold button like that, you'd like to be bigger. You'd like to have a radius like so. And then you also have top and bottom margins if you'd like for more spacing around, and horizontal and vertical padding to make the button bigger like that. Same settings on for mobile. And then we have also the text style. So if you'd like it to be a smaller font, a bigger font, however you like, and then the colors. And the colors you have here are for the regular state and for hover state. So if we have black with white text, then and we want the hover, you see it just switches since it's white. We make that red, and then it becomes red, and let's say white, and so on. One more setting is the border color. So let's say we want a blue border color. It doesn't appear yet because you have to scroll right back up here, and you have button border width, which is defaulted to 0. So you can set the width or the size of the border itself. Another idea, if you want just, let's say, a bordered button, then you can just go in here, you can erase the text, and then you have a button like so, and then you can have a hover effect like that. And then one last thing, scrolling all the way back up, just to show you a video. So like I said before, so for video, you could enter in a YouTube or Vimeo address, which is basically just the URL of the video itself. So if we go here and we do share, you could just copy that link and then paste it right into there. And then you get the video like that, and it starts playing. And then the same settings for all the parallax and so forth. We can make it fixed position. It always refreshes when you change a setting, but you could do that. And if you'd like a local video, then you have to upload an MP4 video over to the files section in the Shopify admin. You select settings, and then you go down to files. And here you can upload the file, or just search here, and let's say we choose this image that we already uploaded. Copy the link, and then you can paste it right in there. And there you go. It's a local video working nicely. So that's it. Thank you again. We hope that this section helps you achieve your website goals. And if you have any questions or any problems, don't hesitate to reach out to us via the support page or the contact page.